Hello and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. Last time we managed to actually orbit a little probe around Minmus. Let's go look at it. It's out there, out in the vast unknown, all on its own. Poor little probe. Sad little probe. It's this guy. Come on. Let's get down there. Look at it, it's a tiny little thing. It's nothing. Nothing in comparison to the vast expanse of darkness or whatever. Doesn't matter. It's an adorable probe. So, what we are to do next time, this time, not next time, this is next time if you were to consider, I don't know. It's this time. Anyway, this time we are going to launch a probe to land on the Mun. Take this as the training for when we go to places like Mars and Venus, where we have to get it right the first time or we're gonna crash everything. So we're gonna start with a probe going out to the Mun. It's gonna be a lander. So we need to start with some sort of disgusting probe core. Let's see. What does this guy look like? Disgusting. Terrible. What does this thing look like? Oh, just absolutely disgusting and terrible. Rove mate. What's this? Oh, it's tiny. Oh, it's tiny. Oh, it's tiny. Okay, we're gonna use this thing. This will be the basis for our lander. So, we need to have on the lander, first off, something to slow us down as we are coming in for a landing. Because since we are going to land on the Mun, I believe everyone here knows that the Mun doesn't have much of an atmosphere. If for no other reason than because I've said it so many friggin' times. What's this? Ooh, look at that. What is this for? Liquid fuel and oxidizer. Okay, this is a liquid fuel canister. Let's put it right there. That's perfect. Look at that. Oh my lord. How much liquid fuel does it even have? 27 liquid fuel. That seems like a really tiny amount of liquid fuel. Can we put on another one? Are there two on there? My lord, there's two on there. Let's put one on top, one on bottom. Now it looks like some sort of, oh god, floating device of some sort. That's terrible. But on the other hand, if it saves it, so what do we got here? Little monopropellant fuel engines? So these guys, what we need next are a couple engines to land our craft. That is big. It's not gonna do the job. Can't have that. What about this guy? Spider liquid fuel engine? That looks nice. Let's do a quadruple spider liquid fuel engine. It's kind of stuck in there, isn't it? How about we add a little bit of structure to it? What sort of structure should we add to our lander? How about this guy? That is way too small. I want something larger. Don't want a tiny little thing. I want a decently sized little thing. Octagonal strut? Oh yeah, sure, that'll do. We'll put a couple octagonal struts on there. And we'll have coming off of there 4, count them, 4 liquid fuel engines. Those will be to slow us down as we're coming in for the final descent. We'll need some sort of small incline reaction wheel on here. And SAS as well will be important for this particular section. Does this thing have SAS? They do. Wow. Okay, so they both have SAS, which is exactly what we need. So SAS is already all set on this. We're then going to want to put some sort of little science-y, this guy, Communicatortron, because it just looks nice, okay? I like it. It's cool. You'd say, why don't you use one of the other ones? I don't want to use one of the other ones. Get over it. There, right there. Very nice. And now, the final thing we need, which is very important if you're ever going to land anything anywhere, Please remember to put landing struts on it. It's a rather large landing strut. Those are rather large landing struts. How about this? It's a micro landing strut. That should do. Nice. Nice. So this is our lander vehicle of death and destruction, both at the same time. So now we have to decouple here, because this is the only thing that's going to be landed in the end. Except we need a couple solar panels as well. Because if we don't have any solar panels, the minute this thing lands, it's going to be like, hey mate, guess what? I'm out of power. And we'll be staring at it like, you could have told us that you needed power beforehand. That would have been nice, you know, instead of telling us afterwards. That's disgusting. Why would you tell us afterwards? Okay, we're gonna put only 2 directly on here. And the solar panels we'll use for the ride over will be... Is that thing not even attached? Oh, good lord, this isn't even attached. There we go. That's why that was all sticking in there. Good God. Okay. Put the little communicatortron right on there. Very good. So that's that. We'll put the stable solar panels on the brunt of the rocket instead of on this little tiny probe. It'll be nice. I swear to goodness, it'll be perfectly fine. So let's find... Where are these? Okay. That's too big of a stack decoupler. That is a perfect size decoupler. So we'll have it decoupled there and go into a little structural section. We'll have it go, how about to here? And this is where we'll put the liquid fuel for just getting us into a good position to actually land the vessel, because we need to be in a good position to land the vessel if we ever intend to land the vessel. It's just basic, people. You have to be in a good position to do something. So that'll be there, and we'll put on just one of the tiny little rocket engines, not that rocket engine, this one. Perfect. And on here, we'll put a few solar panels just so we don't forget. Because if we do forget, that would be really bad. We would run out of power. And if we run out of power, what are we gonna do? Seriously, we're just gonna sit in space and do nothing. That's what we're gonna do. So we'll put a couple of these on here. Bada boom. There's some solar panels. Now let's create another stage here with not that one. They all look the same. My goodness. All of the stack decouplers look the same, and yet some of them are so friggin' large, it's ridiculous. Okay, we're going to attach... There we go. This guy. After we've actually put a structural thing on there. So this is a pretty standard design for getting 2 places. You get the big liquid fuel engine, a few solid fuel engines to get you off the ground just to start, and then brilliance, you're there. It's ridiculous. Should we put on 2? 2. Couldn't hurt, could it? Totally could hurt. It could hurt so much. It could literally mean that we don't make it to the mun. But it's okay, we're going to do it anyway. It'll be perfectly fine. My lord, these are large constructions, aren't they? Quite large constructions. Let's have 8 solid fuel boosters. And we'll put on, not the thumper, we want the kickback. Kickback solid fuel booster. Boom. Is that attached nicely? That is not nice at all. Symmetry is important. And having everything attached properly is the difference between a successful launch and a failed launch. And I would know because I've done a lot of failed launches, people. You know that for certain. It's been terrible. But we are getting somewhere nowadays, so it's perfectly fine. We're going to attach this here. Have it connect up to there so it doesn't, you know, push the thumpers don't push themselves back in towards the vessel, and then when it detaches, they explode. Ah, that's the worst. Okay, we're gonna put some RCS on here. Where is our RCS little? They're under control, right. So we're going to put quad directional RCS all across this thing. I believe if you hold shift, you can place multiple? No. What about control? Nope. Just gonna have to keep clicking, I guess. That's unfortunate. So we're gonna put lots of those on there. I'm gonna put some up here as well. We don't need that many. We'll just have 4. It'll be fine. So we'll put on a couple of these guys. And now we just need the fuel for it. Oh, nice. Perfect. Where's the fuel? There we go. These guys, we're gonna get a few of these guys in here. Just in the center of the rocket. Hoping to God that when these decouple, it does not blow up these canisters, because that would be bad. We're gonna need a good amount of RCS fuel. And then we'll have just a few more of these guys up here for this last stage. That should do. We still have our incline reaction wheel if all else fails and we still run out of RCS fuel. We can use the incline reaction wheel to get us into the right position. It'll be fine, believe me. Be perfectly fine. And then, just in case, because I'm not sure how much push these guys are going to give us, let's attach, that's right, some thumper solid fuel boosters on here. Those are attached to, okay, they are definitely attached to the decouplers. It's always important to check that one. And then let's do the struts and some aerodynamic nose cones. And that's pretty much it. We've got a good rocket to go to the Mun. Well, I say a good rocket to go to the Mun. It's a bit of an overkill rocket, I will admit. It's actually really terribly overkill. This is way more than we could possibly need to ever get to the Mun. Why are we spending so many resources on this? Why? Because we have an infinite quantity of resources? Oh yeah, no, that one, yeah. What shall this be called? The floating lander of your demise. Enter. Perfect. Save it up. Let's check the staging. We need to put all of these in with these rockets. That's all of the solid fuel rockets. Once the thumpers run out, we detach those. Then we detach the other solid fuel rockets. Mainsail, detach. Smaller rocket, detach. And then the landing rockets. Perfect. Perfect. Very nice. Save again. Let's launch this vessel. Like nobody's business! Because it is nobody's business. Come on now, we're just launching a vessel. Who cares? It's fine. I'm going to launch the vessel up into the sky. It's going to go into the sky, it's going to land on the moon, and everyone's going to be happy. There we go. Let's see. So we appear to not have all of the functionality of the SAS, but we have enough of the functionality, I think. We got it. It's fine. 3, 2, 1, ignition. Oh, Lord almighty. It's a really heavy bugger, isn't it? It's a really heavy bugger. Look at all the fuel. Oh, God. Why are we launching this into the sky? Why don't we use this to bring about world peace? Oh, Lord. Who knows? We've just decided world peace doesn't matter so long as we can launch rockets into the sky. That's what really matters. Space matters. Good God. Well, we are up at 3,000 meters. Our little probe is perfectly fine, actually. It's not a single problem, which is quite unusual, because usually we have terrible problems. It's usually quite unfortunate. Okay. How's the fuel doing? we're almost going to need to drop the first of the solid fuel boosters, which is fine. They have to be dropped at some point, because if we don't drop them, they're not going to fall to the ground. If they don't fall to the ground, they're not going to embed themselves there. And if they don't embed themselves there, the homeless people walking around on the ground down there, because we're spending so much money on science and not enough money on housing, won't have a place to live. That's right, they live inside the wrecks of rockets. Oh, Lord. Wow, I don't think there's going to be any more homeless housing created out of that, unfortunately. Sorry, homeless people, you're still just going to have to live in your misery and mire. Unfortunately, that's quite sad for you. So sad. Okay, we are beginning to angle our ascent. We might be angling it a bit early, but I think it's fine. I think it is fine. We don't want to angle it too harshly before we get rid of these solid fuel boosters. Let's make sure we're throttled up to full for this. Okay. This is the moment, people. Detach. Fire the mainsail. No! 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 Good God, what just happened? What exploded, people? Oh. I don't know. Whatever exploded, it doesn't appear to have been anything terribly important. Which is always a good thing. If something's going to explode, we need to make sure it's not important at all. That was almost a disaster, people. Almost a disaster. We're almost out of the atmosphere as well. So let's just turn down the throttle and check how our orbit is doing. Orbit. 111,000 meters. Perfect. Let's just make sure we get a good orbit around Kerbal. Because as I've said before, the most important part of any friggin' launch to another planetoid is a good orbit around Kerbal. It's necessary. Okay, 86,000 meters. Let's move that just a bit. 100,000 meter periapsis, 180,000 meter apoapsis. That's perfect. Ooh, we do have the maneuverability. Oh, that's perfect. We have full functionality, the SAS. What am I talking about? I feel like there's a disgusting quantity of fuel that's wasted when we try to do this. Look at our monopropellant. We have so much monopropellant. Who needs that much monopropellant? Pretty sure we don't need that much monopropellant. I just put it on for fun. Okay. Being wasteful in Kerbal Space Program since about 20 minutes ago. Okay. We have 8 seconds until we fire at our apoapsis to create a stable orbit around Kerbal. Here we go. Now, as I recall, there is actually some way to immediately turn the engine up to full and completely turn it off just in like one keystroke, but I can't remember what it is because, I mean, it's been a long time since I tried to use it. Looks like it's going to be quite a long burn to get into this orbit, but it's going to be fine. We'll be perfectly fine, I swear. Look, it's expanding already. There's no problems. We're going to get to the Mun. We're going to land a little lander that looks ridiculous on it. We're not taking fuel out of these, by the way, are we? No, not at all. Not at all. We have 27 liquid fuel in each of those. And we're going to use them both like nobody's business. Okay. We've still got quite a bit of burn to go. Man, this initial orbit is one of the hardest parts of it. It takes so much fuel to get into the initial orbit around Kerbal so that we can begin to even try to think of getting out to the Mun. Man, Fezman Goes to the Moon is going to be so happy when he gets a little friend on the Mun. Just chilling out there. He'll be like, oh, look, it's my friend. Oh, Lord, look, it's amazing. I'm not out here on my own trying to survive in the face of a terrible, dark, and Brutal world. Ugh. Because of course he doesn't want to be on his own dealing with a terrible, dark and brutal world. That'd be terrible. That'd be so unfortunate. Okay, it's not quite the orbit that we were going for, but we got an orbit regardless. 90,000 meter periapsis. That should be more than enough to prevent our degrade back to Kerbin. Time to set the Mun as a target. Okay, the Mun's here. And if I recall correctly, it goes this way. So we're gonna want to shoot from about here. Expand our orbit. No, not quite. We're gonna want to shoot from a much different place. Probably our apoapsis will be the ideal place to fire from. I'll have it go all the way out. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. We got it right there. That is an encounter with the Mun. Right there. Perfect. That was easy. It was so much easier than it's been in the past, especially with Minmus. Minmus, I swear it took like, what, like 10 minutes to actually find that maneuver that was going to get us to that position. I mean, that would be terrible. That was terrible. Oh, look, there it is. There's the Mun. It's right there. We can see it already. It's sitting on the horizon like a disgusting little ball of lint. Prepare to die, Mun. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you like nobody's business. Okay, we're in position. Very good. Spin. Woo! Woo! Oh, God. Bye, Moon. Bye. Bye. We'll see you soon. Sooner than you think. Okay, it's not that good. It wasn't even a good threat to begin with. It was like a subpar one. It's like if you're sitting in like a buffet or something and you're like, man, I got this piece of toast. Look, there's some butter. You just take your knife, you just scoop it right onto the toast, do a quick little spread, you sink your teeth in, and you're just like, oh, that's not butter. And you look and you see there's a tub right next to it and it says, I can't believe it's not butter. And of course, all that you can think is, oh, I really can believe it's not butter. Oh. And then of course you go up to your like 17-story penthouse, consider the fact that it wasn't butter, that your entire life may in fact be a lie, and you open the window, gaze down into the street, and plummet headlong into fate, which is actually just pavement. Fate is pavement, people. That's what you have learned here today. Oh, Lord. Yeah, I swear, that's exactly what it's like. And if you don't know what that's like, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's probably a good thing. Oh, Lord. We've run out of fuel, haven't we? Oh, Lord. Fire! There we go. We don't need you. Goodbye. You're gonna sit around Kerbin forever. You know what Kerbal Space Program needs? It needs a rocket battery whose sole purpose is to shoot the debris out from around Kerbin that we just leave there because we're pricks and we just can't be asked to actually get rid of it. Oh, we're getting there pretty quickly. Okay. There we go. No. Yeah. Yes. Yes, we did it. Let us delete our maneuver. As you can see, we have made it out to the Mun, and we're either going to get to the Mun or we are going to fly off into an orbit around the sun, which is not a good situation. But it's not the worst situation either. Okay. Let's center on the Mun. That's interesting. We're already going into the Mun. Let's add a maneuver here. And we are going to slow ourselves down to that. That looks nice. So you'd say, but sir, this orbit, it intersects the Mun, But, my friend, that is the ideal situation. In order to land a vessel, we need an orbit that goes directly to the surface. It's not really an orbit, it's just like a collision path with the Mun. In reality, we want something a lot more like this. This is what we want. Right there. That is ideal. Because you see, it's almost a straight down path. All that we need to do after that is slow ourselves down enough so that we don't absolutely explode when we land on the Mun. So that is our next maneuver. Let us point ourselves in that direction. Oh my lord, it's such a maneuverable craft. I love you, little craft. You're brilliant. Okay. Let us wait 1 day, 1 hour, and 45 minutes. It's quite a long time, my friends. Quite a long time indeed. The minutes are passing. We're coming closer and closer to the Mun. We've still got 1 entire day before we fire off on our maneuver. Oh, look, it's coming to us. We're here to conquer you, Mun! Who do you think you are in the face of us? Nothing. Nothing at all. That's what it is. It's disgusting. It's like a little worm. It's wriggling around on the ground. And we come in and we stare at it, thinking, oh, what a pathetic little creature, considering its pathetic existence on the ground, drowning in a little puddle created by yesterday's rain. What is the purpose of even existing in that form? And as we think of this, we crush it under our boot, which in the case of this metaphor kind of means we crush the moon under our boot, which is quite impressive, actually. I mean, you have to have quite a big boot. Huh. Hold up. Where are we? Oh, okay. That maneuver was on the wrong side of Kerbal. Of the Mun, sorry. There we go. We need to get into our maneuver position, and we need to fire that off really quickly because we are seriously on a collision course with the Mun right now. Okay, we're slowing ourselves down. The surface is only 10,000 meters away. That's very concerning. So, see, our actual path that we made from Kerbal to the Mun was actually going directly through the Mun to begin with. And because of that, we accidentally put our maneuver on the wrong side, and we're gonna crash. No! Oh, good lord. Well, that is a good lesson to be learned in actually paying attention to where you're putting your maneuver to begin with. Yeah, no, I noticed that it all exploded. Thank you. Thank you very much. Going to return to the Space Center. We're going to have to launch a new vessel next time to land on the Mun with a little tiny probe because I accidentally put it on the wrong side. Oh, Lord. It's quite unfortunate that I noticed that so late. I really should have been paying a bit more attention instead of talking about worms and metaphors with worms and the moon and crushing the moon under your boot heel. Which is all hilarious on one hand, but on the other hand, cost us a freaking lander! I want the Inquisition to go through this space center and take out every single metaphor we have. We're not allowed to have any metaphors at all. Go for it. You get to burn at the stake anyone who makes a metaphor from here on out. Well, as the Inquisition goes and does that, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, like and subscribe. Next time, we will not make a single metaphor. No likes or ases will be used at all. I have to really check what I'm saying to make sure I don't use a single metaphor, or I'm going to be burned at a stake, by the stake, out over here somewhere, as an example to everyone else. But until then, thanks for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day.